Some of you have been asking me what equipment I've been using to shoot my most recent YouTube videos. So today I'm going to share everything. I'll put links below to all the mentioned equipment and I'll show you how my small camera is now much bigger. Let's jump in. Hey guys, Matt here from MrLeica.com. If you've seen this channel before, you know I love my small cameras, but sometimes it's nice to find a balance between small and then more ergonomically friendly with grips and things like that. So today's video is more of a gear video where I'm going to show various bits of equipment that I can attach to a small camera or a big camera to make it more functional for various things. So normally we talk about Leica cameras, but I'm actually going to use a Lumix because this one, when it comes, it literally has nothing, no grip, no anything. So it was a really good kind of project camera to build up from. But bear in mind, most of the things I'm going to show you can be used on any camera system. So as soon as I bought the Lumix S9, I realized it's pretty slippy in the hands, more like an M camera, and so I really wanted to get some kind of grip to go with it. Now you tend to have two options when you're looking at cameras. You can get something which is basically literally just a grip, which you'd use on, say, your Leica M, M10P or M11 cameras like I use, but you need to buy obviously the correct one because the hole in the bottom is going to be specific for your camera to let you get your battery out, things like that. That's the first option. That's what I've got for Nikon cameras and various other cameras. The next stage is to get a cage. Now a cage is more useful because you can attach more things to it because you've got various mounting points on the side and whatnot. I'll bring up some sample footage first showing the Lumix S9 with only the grip on, which is more of a minimal setup. And then the cage is what I use for my, I guess, everything else setup where I can use bigger lenses, and it feels more beefy with the cage on. I really like the cage setup, so I tend to leave the cage on most of the time. Both of these are made by SmallRig, and both of these have got the tripod plate built into the base of the grip, so you can just slide it straight onto your tripod, and I really like that. In the past I've not been a big fan of tripods, but when you can just clip your camera on and off really easily, it makes it so much easier. Now the Lumix S9 is quite an unusual camera in terms of it's got no viewfinder. So the next thing I wanted to get was a monitor. So I started off with a big monitor, then a smaller monitor. This one's made by Portuguese. I can bring up a picture of the big one. It's a 7-inch monitor. This is a 5-inch monitor. These just clip on with your hot shoe, like so. And then you can see, say if I'm videoing myself, I can see how I look and composition and things like that. That's great. The next step was to be able to record myself, but also see if I was in focus. And my eyesight isn't great, so ideally I wanted to be able to view the LCD screen, which is on obviously the back of the camera, from a distance. And so I did loads of research and I found this brand. This brand is called Axoon, I believe that's how you pronounce it. And basically it's just like a wireless transmitter, and it's absolutely game changing. I know sometimes that word is overused, but it's been absolutely brilliant. You've got your transmitter and you've basically just got your phone holder. You can detach the phone holder if you're not having the phone mounted on the camera itself. And let's say you're doing it remotely. And then all I did was added a SmallRig NATO rail to the top, and a NATO rail clip, quick release to the bottom of this. So then I can slide this straight on really quick. And then if I'm only using it as a transmitter and say I've got the monitor remotely elsewhere, I don't need this bit. If I'm using the phone as my monitor on camera, you clip that on. Now sometimes it's nice to have your monitor further forward so you're not kind of looking straight down. It's more natural to have your viewing monitor slightly ahead. So the next thing I wanted to get was a top handle. So top handles, you can get various sorts. Again, SmallRig, I decided to get the NATO rail SmallRig top handle. So again, everything just clips on and off. So top handle on, and now I can attach my monitor much further forward. This makes it much more convenient also then for video, more so than photos. When I'm doing photos, I tend to take this off. With video, I tend to quickly clip this on. Another version you can get is one going straight onto a hot shoe if you're not using a NATO rail setup. The next thing you probably want to get is a follow focus. Now to do that, you need to get something to attach your follow focus equipment to. The most common approach seems to be getting rails after doing lots of research. So again, some of this stuff is from SmallRig. I brought a lot of little things from AliExpress, building various bits like a Meccano set almost. So I've got two very similar bases that I can put two different cameras on. So this can either be for my SL2S or my Lumix S9 in this example, both of them working exactly the same way. Rails on the bottom that I can attach follow focuses to, mount on the bottom to clip onto the tripod, then a tripod mount on the top so the camera clips straight on. Now I must say a massive thanks to SmallRig, because I did actually write to SmallRig initially, sent them a drawing, like a diagram, and said, hey SmallRig, I'd love to build this rig for my Lumix S9, and there doesn't seem to be anything on YouTube talking about this particular setup. So I wrote to them and they kindly sent me a lot of the bits that you're seeing in this video. They've been absolutely fantastic in terms of the service, so huge thanks to SmallRig. And if you're looking to get cages, rails, everything, they literally do everything. So let's clip this on. So we've got SmallRig top handle, SmallRig cage, SmallRig rods, SmallRig base thing. As you can see, my small camera is now getting quite a bit larger. But it's also getting much more functional, so it's finding the balance between form and function. So this is my second one, that's the Leica SL2S. Next we need the follow focus. Various companies make follow focus kits. This one's made by SmallRig. Again, thanks SmallRig for sending it, for making this review. So for a follow kit, you need your gears that go onto the side of your lens, and then you need something to turn for actually focusing. So let me put the gearing on the side. Now this is electronic, so you'd need to wire that up. So what I do is I run a wire from that to the monitor, or use a different power solution. I'll show you that in a second. Once your camera has your follow focus on, this will turn this remotely. That allows you to then obviously focus remotely. I can then see remotely with my monitor, and so it's absolutely amazing for doing my solo YouTubing, or whatever you want to call it, being able to film myself with just a tripod, a camera and a focus. If I want to have the focus on the camera, which is what you see most proper filmmaker people do, is all you do is I've literally just put this on this handle, I put it on another rod attachment, so then I can put it on the other rod on that side, if that's how I wanted to do it. I generally use this for off-camera remote focusing rather than on-camera focusing. Okay, now I need to make the camera a bit more comfortable to hold, so I was really looking for a right-hand grip option for this SmallRig setup, which was the reason I wrote to SmallRig originally, because I just found nothing online about having a right-hand handle for this particular camera. So the handle I've integrated with my power solution. This is, as you can see, a SmallRig V-mount battery. I had to learn all this before I could make it, because I had zero knowledge of any of this before building this particular rig, so I had to learn on the job. It just slides on and off this V-mount battery plate, which goes on the back, and then I designed it, or bought the bits, or ordered the bits so it would fit again on the rods. This is why I'm using the whole rod design thing. This is brilliant because I can also use it to run my LED lights as well, and I can just attach this to like a light stand. So that's that. And then I wanted a very sturdy right hand grip, because I'm a righty. I hold my cameras with the right hand, so I attach the handle to the V-mount battery plate instead of to the rods, because with the rods I found sometimes it twisted. So let's attach now this power solution. So to do this, I'm going to run it a bit like a Pixie camera. If you've seen Pixie cameras where you've got your monitor to the side, then as you can see, I've now got power solution, monitor to the side, or I can run it like this, and a really good grip, and I can still function all the buttons. So right, so now we've got grip, we've got power solution, we've got top handle, we've got follow focus. Next we need cables. Now cables was also a big learning point. This is some of the cables I bought, trying to work out what's the best cable to run various things of various things. If you know, it's a bit specific to this camera, but if you know anything about the Lumix S9, they can overheat. So by using a dummy battery and running it off a power brick or from the mains, it means it won't overheat as easily. I've got this, my SL2S as well. Dummy batteries mean you can run them off the mains, so the cameras can video for much longer. I then need a follow focus wire, a monitor wire, to attach all those to the power solution. Now before I show you the fully wired up setup with monitor and things attached, the final thing I wanted to get was a matte box. So if you want to say shoot in the rain, or you're using vintage lenses and you don't want the lens flare, by having a matte box which will go on the front like so, it stops the unwanted flare. Okay, so we're back with the fully built rig. If you can imagine, that's the Lumix S9 in the middle, and then obviously everything else has been added after. So we've got the power solution on the back, SmallRig. We've got the top handle, SmallRig. We've got the cage, SmallRig. We've got the rods on the bottom, like the base, SmallRig also. You've got your SmallRig follow focus. You have a SmallRig matte box. You've got the Axoon monitor solution, which I'll show you in a second a bit closer up. And then if we spin it round, I'm using Freewell or KNF concept filters. So the Freewell ones are magnetic, so I can just clip them on and off. And if you've seen in another video, I use the combined mist filter, ND and CPL, so then it just clips on and off. And then the great thing with the matte box is it keeps it all clean when not in use, or dust free like so. Now to see the follow focus work, I've got the follow focus here, and then as you see, if I turn this, you can see the gearing is moving, which is amazing. So that gives me wireless focusing on a manual focus lens. If you're not using a lens that's already got gears on, you can get gearing rings and attach those to your normal lenses. Let's say like our lenses, if you like video, put your gearing ring on, and then you can do the same thing as you do here, or you can just buy focus rings like I bought on Amazon. So that's my focusing. Now I need to be able to see. So to see, I've got it rigged up with my Axoon monitor. With a monitor, you can either have a monitor on the top, like you can see, or we have the monitor off. And then let me show you the beauty of this setup. All you need to do is attach your Axoon CineView, it's called, by HDMI cable to your HDMI port on your camera. The reason the side grips are less common on the S9 is because the S9 has the cable port on the right hand side. But with this, you can see I can handhold it, and it's really comfortable. So let's power this on, and then I'll show you the magic. So the beauty of the Axoon solution is you can run 3 different devices, so it can be iPhones, tablets, all at the same time, and they'll all display what the camera is seeing. You can either have a battery on the back, which we had before, like a standard NPF battery, which clips in here, or you can run it off our power brick, the SmallRig power solution. This is their 50, it's called, and this lets me run USB-A, USB-C, and then 2 the round ones, and the D-tap on the side if you're using D-tap. The great thing is with this device, you can also run power out of it to say run the follow focus, which gives you a much more compact setup. So I can have one battery on here to run this and the follow focus, which means then I don't need to use the big battery if I want to run it as a smaller rig. Let me show you with the smaller battery on without the big battery. Now you've seen it with big battery, so you can see it's so modular, you can use lots of different setups. Okay, so I've wired up the light version, so now I'm running the follow focus from the small NPF battery, which is attached to the Axoon CView. So then all you do is go to your phone, you download the Axoon C app, go to your Wi-Fi, connect, go to the app, and now we have a wireless monitor. The next thing I wanted was an easy way to mount this, so I could have it next to me on my desk to see that I was in like the correct composition. So for this, I'm using a Ulanzi MA30, and this is really cool. It like clips on your belt loop, and it's just like a magnetic mini tripod. And then I can also now focus remotely, view it on the screen, and then I can pinch to zoom in to check that I'm in focus. And so I've got remote monitoring, remote focusing, and then all I needed then was a decent tripod to mount it on, which was also small enough for travel. I needed something bigger than this to attach this. Now, tripods are not the most exciting topic, but they are very functional, and if they don't work, they're also really frustrating. Ulanzi just sent me their new JJ05 overhead carbon fibre tripod, and so I was putting that through its paces. It's really nicely made. I've not used a Ulanzi tripod before, and it gives you like an overhead angle, as the name suggests. You'll see in a second. It's got the tripod leg locks and a few extra mounts for phones and other accessories. There you can see the overhead swing arm, and then that also allows you to do movement, which is quite good for video, where you'll see I can actually swing it around if I loosen off the top bit. So I've been trying to do that for some of my video clips and things. Setting up reasonably quick. I'm sure you can do it quicker than I showed you there. And I'm almost 6 foot 108 centimeters, and it goes taller than me, so it's definitely tall enough. It's nicely made, but the things I don't like is it's got that small Peak Design style tripod head plate thing, and I don't use those. I use like normal Arca Swiss plates. So the first thing I had to do was put another plate on the top. Second thing, it doesn't go close to the ground like my cheap tripod, and so you can see there it has to go up and then back down again to be able to get close to the ground. And the biggest problem is you can't remove the head, and that's a real pain for me. So went on Amazon and AliExpress and things, and I found this one. Now this one is amazing. In terms of the size, it's much smaller, as you'll see. It's lighter, it's more narrow and kind of compact. And the big thing, the thing I was really looking for, the head removes. So this means I can use it for like lots of different functions, not only to attach my camera. So they can see the size next to the Ulanzi one, and it's brilliant. I found it from Marcus Pix, so shout out to Marcus Pix, fellow YouTuber. He did a video on it. See his video. The head obviously removes, so then I can attach it to other tripods. And then I also bought the same brand extension tube, which lets it go even taller, and then I can use it for attaching light mods and things. There you can see me using various lights, and also the Manfrotto magic arm. Now tripods are great, but sometimes if you live in a city or you're trying to like run and gun on the go, tripods are maybe a bit too slow to set up, or a bit too obvious where some places say no tripods. So for that reason I bought this. This is a K&F Concept, I think they're called magic arms. And then I got a NATO rail attachment from AliExpress. And then I got I think this is also SmallRig. Yeah, I found an old SmallRig like clam grip thing I've had for ages from Amazon. And I use this as my tripod alternative, because I'm going to mount it from the top. I no longer need the rails on the bottom, and I'm going to pre-focus it, so I don't need the wireless follow focus. So then when I'm traveling, if I'm taking absolute minimum kit, because I often travel with just like a 18 litre Wotan Craft backpack, and that's all I carry for like 4 days, say in Poland or Budapest or somewhere when I'm teaching or doing model shoots. Sometimes obviously I need to film myself, so for that reason, if I can't carry the follow focus, I'll leave that at home. I'll use my screen as my normal viewing aid instead of a monitor. And then all I do is attach this magic arm to like a railing, and this is a really perfect way to have a tripod free way to mount your camera, and it's really secure. I spent ages looking at millions of different ones on AliExpress and Amazon, and this was my favorite because I wanted one with the balancing pins. Let me show you. You see it's got too many pins either side. That stops it from spinning. So from years of things coming loose where they turn and then unlock themselves, by having it with balancing pins on top and bottom, it's absolutely rock solid. So this is my tripod alternative. The other thing you could do is use like a selfie stick setup. So that K&F Concept also makes selfie sticks, so do Ulanzi and various other people. I can put a link to one below. They're really good because you can literally just extend it, whack your camera on the top, and ready to go. The difference with this is stronger for bigger camera setups or with bigger lens setups, whereas if you're using the selfie stick setup, I'd try and use a much smaller lens and as light as possible rig, because it is designed for like iPhones and GoPro cameras and things, not bigger cameras. I'll put links below to all mentioned products, and yeah, comment below if you lasted to the end. Sorry, we covered quite a bit of kit. I know this is a bit different from my normal YouTube videos. For my next video, we'll be back to photos, lighting, lenses, and all things like that. So if you're a new viewer, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching. You can see my what's in my bag videos on Patreon to see what I carry month to month on my various trips, and hope to catch you in the next video.